Hello, nice to meet you. So I'm holding in my hand a collection of letters like this one, all dusty and fascinating letters that tell the adventures of Annabelle Underwood and take place at the beginning of the 20th century. In this video, all you have to do is listen and enjoy the story. For each video, I also created a cover like this one. And you can tell me what you think in the comments, and of course what you think about the story too. And one more thing, I prefer to warn you, but English is not my mother tongue. I promise to do everything to improve as quickly as I can, and of course for the acting too. I promise to do everything I can. So now you know everything, shall we begin? This story is called A Mournful Night. Saturday, 26th November 1910. My dear, I hope you are well. Please forgive me. It is true that I not taken the time to ask after you these past few days. As you can imagine, I was far too busy with one of my many investigations. My only excuse is that I was once again plunged into one of my most creeping inquiries, but also one of the saddest I have ever had to solve. The kind one wishes, until the very last moment, not to have unraveled, because sometimes the truth is far too painful to be revealed. It is rare for me, but I would be curious to know your opinion on the matter, on my decision. Even if I had to do it again, I believe I would act the same way, and yet I cannot help but keep a bitter taste on my lips after the whole affair. So that you may take your decision and see more clearly, let us turn back time together, if you don't mind. 2 days ago, more precisely. It was a Saturday, and I was driving back from the city of Bath. I had only just bought the car, a new model produced by the Voisin brand. In short, I was on the road back to London, where I was needed for a case involving counterfeit banknotes. I was somewhat irritated by this trip to the west of the region, because this investigation had been anything but exciting, a stupid adultery story, as boring and numbing as they come, enough to send you into coma. Everything about it was so dreadfully banal. Ah, humans. In any case, as I was on the road, my car decided to throw a tantrum and simply die in the middle of nowhere. Brand new and already troublesome. Of course, to complete the scene, night was not far from falling. I remember I had passed a large estate a few kilometers earlier. Gathering my courage in both hands and my umbrella, because the weather has decided not to show me any mercy either, I start walking. There are days like this one, when fate seems to crash down on us without our understanding why. Today seems to be one of those cursed days. I was already fuming after that stupid adultery story, and there I was, lost without transportation and in the rain, and it was freezing. It's November, for heaven's sake. Winter in England is not known for its gentleness. To think that a year ago I was solving a case in Egypt. It was so pleasant. So it took me almost an hour in the cold and dimness to find the entrance of the manor. I was soaked to the bone when I rang the bell. After a few minutes of waiting, an elegantly dressed butler opened the door. He seemed surprised to see me here and in such a state. I cannot blame him. At that moment, I think I would have been terrified of my own reflection in a mirror. I introduced myself and explained my situation. At the sound of my name, he seemed taken aback, and I saw his eyes narrow with suspicion. In the darkness and rain, he tried to recognize me from the various photographs he must have seen of me in different newspapers. I was on the cover of quite a few magazines last month after that investigation in Spain, You remember, don't you? I had recovered and identified, with the help of several historians of course, a work of art that have been looted during the Napoleonic campaigns and have been missing ever since. He looked at me a few moments longer before asking me to wait and closing the door in my face. I pressed myself as close as I could under the porch to avoid as much as I could the rain and wind that kept turning me into a scarecrow. I like rain, you know that, but in reasonable amount, and there was nothing reasonable about this weather. My whole body began to tremble from cold and fatigue. The door finally opened again. A few minutes later, with a broad smile, the butler invited me in. I did not need to be asked twice and hurried inside, warm at last. A young maid stood in the entryway and invited me to follow her upstairs so I could change and warm up a little. I thanked her and followed, somewhat surprised not to have met the owners yet. My dripping clothes left an ugly wet trail along the rugs on the carpeted stairs, but no one remarked on it. She led me to a charming upstairs bedroom decorated with taste. The room, though small, was wonderfully cozy, and the wood burning in the fireplace warmed me instantly. On a chair, an extremely luxurious outfit has been lent to me for the occasion. A little surprised by the loan of such a splendid garment, I asked what celebration or what event was taking place here. The maid, named Emily, told me the family was celebrating the engagement of the Duke of Greensburg's only daughter, a great event since she was to marry a wealthy American heir. I quickly understood the arrangements without Emily having to add much. One wanted the title, the other the fortune, and the bride, barely 21, surely has not been given a say. I understood better, too, why no one has been in the entryway to welcome me. I hope that one day women, all women, will be able to choose whom they marry without being forced by anyone. The evening promised to be depressing, and my deductions only proved themselves true during dinner. After changing and drying off, I went downstairs to meet this famous family. At first, you should know, I had decided not to meddle in their affairs. They had been already kind enough to invite me to stay the night. I was not going to start being rude, but, as always, fate has decided otherwise. When I arrived in the reception room, they were all already seated at the table and seemed to be waiting passively for my arrival to begin hostilities. The meal went as expected, boring and tasteless. A meal of cliché, truly. The rest spoke about other topics, rising tensions in the world, the owner's excellent choice of wine, the wedding the next day, the meal. Everything was dreadfully dull, you know me. I said very little, and they seemed disappointed, but I was not truly in the mood for conversation. The family was gathered in a small group on the eve of this wedding. There were the grandparents, Philippa and Alfred Greensburg on the bride's side, and James Wilson on the groom's side, the parents, the Duke and Duchess of Greensburg, George and Mary, and Harold and Eileen Wilson, the fiancé and his best friend, Edmund Wilson and Hugh Stewart, the fiancée, Chastity Greensburg, as well as two close cousins, Danny Green and Jake Taylor. I found myself seated with the future bride to my left, who seemed very pleased to have an outside presence at the table, despite my silence, and to my right, one of the two cousins, the famous Jake. Very sure of himself, he spoke about every subject and every debate with the confidence of a dictionary. Those pages have been empty of their content. He gave the impression of knowing everything about the world without ever having lived anything. A pathetic man, in short, as one finds many of them, and who resembles a future husband quite striking. Edmund seems to share the same knowledge of the world. It is well known, the less culture one has, the more one flows it. He feels the whole left in the conversation. By desserts, I felt a little less tired, so, to please the fiancée, who made me feel rather sorry, I told her about the scarab affair at the Gallery of Evolution in Paris. You surely remember, I told you about it in one of my last letters. It was the only time that evening I saw a truly sincere smile appear on her lips, not a forced one. She thanked me warmly, and, as coffee was served, I told her about the disastrous adultery story that had brought me to the country. The poor girl drank my words and did not take her eyes off my lips. She seemed so happy to hear about anything other than what awaits her tomorrow, and above all, for the rest of her life. She only let me go when the coffee and digestive were finished. At that moment, she handed me with slightly trembling hands an envelope, no doubt a wedding invitation. And she told me she sincerely hoped to see me tomorrow in the pews. I took the envelope without giving her my answer, and I did not need to be asked twice to go to bed. All the day's emotion had simply exhausted me. Nothing like a good night's sleep to recover. Perhaps I would be better able to endure this masquerade tomorrow morning, or else I would manage to find a fine excuse not to attend that very sad ceremony. But that young girl, her eyes and her face filled me with such a pity. You know me, I hate this kind of situation, and I hope if she has the courage, she will flee before all this. Woman destiny are so mapped out in our area that it becomes frightening. Girl, woman, and then mother, the domestic chores and the home, nothing more. No place in society, in public life, not even the right to vote. I hope things change one day. I fell asleep as usual, within minutes, wrap up in my blanket to fight the cold and give no chance to any stray draft to touch my skin. If there is one thing I despise, it's being cold, you know that well. Nothing irritates me more than a mercury that dips too low. If I could sleep with a fireplace built into my bed, I would sleep in paradise. My night, unfortunately, was short. My meeting with Morpheus lasted only a brief moment, for the entire manor was awakened by a scream of a young woman. I recognized the voice immediately. It was Emily, the maid who has been so kind to me. The house stirred and lights came on all at once, alarmed by her cry. I sprang up, wrapped myself in a silk dressing gown that was lying on a chair, threw a blanket around my shoulders, and then rushed down the stairs into the garden, from where the noise has come. Behind me were the fiancé and his best friend. Hugh had a hunting rifle, ready for a fight. Emily was collapsed on the ground, in visible shock, pale-faced. She kept repeating that she has seen several white shadows in the night, ghosts, white, terrifying silhouettes that seemed to float in the night. Restless between the sheets of rain, the sky kept pouring down. The Duke laughed, then scolded the poor servant, who did not seem able to come out of her shock. While everyone began laughing at the situation, much to my surprise, the Duchess burst out screaming. She was screaming to announce that the poor fiancé, her young daughter Chastity, has disappeared, gone. Can you imagine? Gone. What twist in a night that had seemed so simple. Emily kept insisting that it was the ghost's fault, that the spirits had taken the young woman away to kill her. The mother was distraught as well. She said she had searched everywhere in the manor, but without success. The staff were searching too, but no one has found her yet. I helped Emily to her feet gently, brought her inside, and set her in one of the armchairs in the entryway, so she could regain her senses. Asked one of the peddlers to bring a glass of water. He hurried off and returned at once to hand it to Emily. The cold water seems to help her and bring her slightly back to reason. She was soaked, so I gave her the blankets I had around my shoulders. You cannot imagine the sacrifice that was for me. But at that moment, I knew she needed more than I did. Outside, I could hear the family members and the entire staff heading out to scour the grounds around the house to find the missing girl. In the darkness, I doubt they would find any clues at that hour. Leaving Emily to rest for a moment with one of her colleagues, I went upstairs, more precisely to the missing girl's bedroom, for I suspected that her disappearance on the eve of her marriage to a man she scarcely liked, who even seemed to disgust her when he touched her, was no accident, quite the opposite. Inside the room, I discovered a large chamber, perfectly kept and tidy. The fire in the fireplace was nearly out. The bed had not been sleeping, not even rumpled, proof that the young woman had never gone to bed before vanishing, and that her disappearance had nothing of an abduction or mysterious kidnapping linked to any ghosts. On the desk, an inkwell and blank paper lay neatly, untouched. A damp stain had marred the top of the page, a drop of water or a tear. Touching it with my finger and bringing it to my lips, I detected a faint salty note. A tear left by the just vanished fiancée. In the wardrobes, nothing seems missing. None of her personal effects have been moved. I drew closer to the fire. A faint smell I could neither describe nor analyze perfumed the room, and along the ashes, a tiny piece of paper was finishing burning. It seems to come from a page of a book, and I could only read 2 words before they vanished in the flame: rosemary and revive. Why burn it? And what these 2 words mean? The girl's disappearance clearly did not stem from mere chance or trick of spirits, far from it. Everything must have been orchestrated and planned long ago. And that smell in the air, I know it, yet I could not place it. Cursed olfactory memory. As I inspected the desk in search for letters or a diary that might give me more clues and information, new cries were heard in the garden. Then a scream, the Duchess. Through the window, I saw them all gather in the distance around what looked like a stone bench. I ran out again to join them, afraid they had made a grim discovery. The scream I had heard sounded like one of a mother in the deepest grief, and unfortunately, my instincts were, as usual, correct. Young Chastity was there, lying on the bench, motionless, her head bloodied, dead for several hours. The cousin Danny proved useful by revealing that he was a family doctor. He thus estimated the time of death between 11 o'clock and midnight, not long after everyone had gone to bed. It was 2 in the morning, so she has been dead for 3 to 4 hours. The fiancé Edmund carried her body inside, at my request and with a family agreement, I asked him to place her on her bed. As everyone returned to the manor, I stayed outside a little longer, for several details troubled me. Her body, though exposed to rain for many hours, did not seem as wet as it should have been, and the blood on her head had dried before the rain began to fall on her. Yet, she has died instantly there, in the middle of the garden, with no shelter above her. The boy, blood, who never had the time to clothe. He would have been washed away by the torrents that have been falling for hours. And the murder weapon, it seems to be the bench, or at least the corner. But after such an impact, would she not have died on the spot? If so, she should have been found lying on the ground, on the gravel, not lay out on the bench like that. Strange. Many pieces did not fit together. It resembled neither an accident, not a murder. Strange. And those shadows in the garden, those ghosts, who were they? I did not think Emily's sight had deceived her. I was even convinced she had indeed seen something, but what exactly? A mystery. Much mystery around this investigation. Tragic as this story was, it was becoming more interesting and gripping. Abandoning the crime scene, which have given me all the information and question he has to give, I returned back to the manor. The rain continued to pound, and I was soaked again. Returning to my room, I asked for a new outfit, and preferably a warm one. I did not feel like putting the Duchess's beautiful evening gown back on to examine the dead body of her daughter. A bit of respect after all. The more sober, the better. I made this request to another maid named Françoise, a French woman in exile in England. Emily was still in shock. One of her colleagues has gone upstairs with her to help her change. Françoise returned 5 minutes later with a simple and very black outfit. Perfect. And the apron I had asked for as well, so I would not soil the clean clothes while inspecting Chastity's body. Everyone was in the room, gathered around the bed. It what appeared to be shock. Nothing unusual there. After offering my condolences to the family, I took the cousin Danny aside to ask what he thought. According to him, the young woman has died instantly from the blow to the head. At least, she would not have had time to suffer. I could not help thinking, poor soul, dying so young. An autopsy would be needed to be certain of the cause of death, but, according to him, it was an accident, a fall, a fatal slip in the garden. I asked the parents if they would allow me, in turn, to examine their daughter's body. With a simple nod, they let me. My observation was the same as Danny's, but why be in the garden at that hours, in the rain, with nothing but a nightgown? Why flee without any of her belongings, with nothing on her shoulders? One by one, the relatives left the room, surely still too shaken to endure the sight any longer. After a moment, only Danny, Edmund, the Duke, and I remained. Danny tried, with all the kindness in the world, to explain how young Chastity had died, and that, in her misfortune, she had not suffered at all. Just then, the Duke let a tear fall, and a new cry rang out from the garden. Another one. Surely it never ends. What a night! And this time, it was not cries of fear or pain, but of hunger and resistance, the cries of a man shouting to be released. Two butlers held him firmly while Hugh, the fiancé's best friend, kept him at gunpoint. The whole household rang again towards the commotion, toward the manor's entrance. everyone seems astonished to see the man, drenched to the skin. The Duke, in particular, told us he was a former gardener who had left the service a little over a month ago. What was he doing here, on this night of all nights, when young Chastity had just been found dead? That was a great many coincidence, was it not? That what everyone thought too. And his attempt at explaining his presence was not brilliant. He claimed he has gotten lost. He, a man born and raised in the region, had to believe. The Duke, furious, grabbed him by the collar, ready to fight. It took several men to stop him. The accident theory began to crumble. The murder theory strengthened, but for what reason? And why did the young man not seem more shaken by the girl's death than by how she died? A mystery. The police were called, but between the storm and the late hours, no inspector could arrive before the next morning. It was decided to lock the gardener up, against his will, in one of the staff bedrooms. Those who wanted could go back to sleep. Those who wanted could stay up playing games and having a snack while waiting for daylight in the few hours. To my great surprise, everyone decided to return to their home. The Cupid, at least to the eyes, have been found in the person of the gardener, and he was locked upstairs so they could return to the bed. It must have been around 3 in the morning by then, and I admit that I was too exhausted. Better to wait for dawn and his light to lift the veil of this mystery, for I was convinced that although the gardener had a link to the affair, he was certainly not the murderer, and his delayed reaction troubled me greatly. Why not react immediately when told of Chastity's death? Why had her body been moved if she died on the spot, and by whom? Still, so many questions I would have to solve tomorrow morning. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching the video all the way through. Feel free to like the video and follow me to see what happens next in Annabelle Underwood's incredible adventures. See you soon. Bye bye.